Hello and welcome to Todd Talk, where insight meets inspiration. I'm your host, Todd Hiller, and I'm an author, speaker, and longtime community leader, here to guide you on a journey towards fulfillment and balance. In every episode, we'll explore ways to fill life's emptiness, helping you uncover practical tools to create harmony, purpose, and happiness. Whether it's thriving in your career, nurturing personal growth, or simply finding joy in the everyday, Todd Talk is your space for real conversations and actionable advice. So let's thrive together, personally, professionally, and beyond. This is Todd Talk, and I'm thrilled to have you here. I'm here to remind you today that it's okay to give a little. I had a busy weekend, a really busy weekend ahead, and the weekend kind of snuck up and crept up on me. And so I realized I didn't have a podcast episode drafted yet, and I didn't have one recorded. And so I'm sitting down to record one after a very, very long Saturday. And my reminder to you today, and always, is that it's okay to give a little. It's okay to just give a little bit of what you have, if that's all that you have in your system. So this morning was a super early day. I was up at 4:30 to drive my daughter 60 miles away to a travel soccer game. She had to be there for warm-ups at 7:45, so we probably should have just left the night before. It would have been easier. But so we went, we drove to soccer, we drove back. On the way back, I had to, after the soccer game, I had to go to the fire school and work. So into the burn building I go, where it's 1,000+ degrees, to drag pallets and straw and stoke the fire for a department who was coming to do some live fire training. Full gear, air pack on my back, lots of weight, 40, 50 pounds of gear, 30 or 40 pounds of an air pack and a bottle and tools, in and out all afternoon. And now getting home, I'm like, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I have to record a podcast because that's on my list of things to do. And I love sharing things with listeners. But it really got me thinking, well, what do I want to talk about today? And the thing I realized I wanted to talk about was that it's okay to give a little. It's okay to give less than 100% if that's all you have. We live in this really, this go society where everything has to happen all at once. And the expectation is that we show up and we do all the things and we parent our kids and we do our day job, and some of us do a side job, and then we be social at nighttime and we make sure we make time for our spouse or our significant other and our kids, and so on and so forth. And it gets really, really tiring. And the blatant truth of it is some days we don't have 100% to give. But the little bit you give still matters. And I don't want you to feel slighted or like you're slighting yourself or those people around you, or like you're not, quote unquote, good enough because you don't have 100% to give. Not everybody will have the same capacity at any given time to give to other people in their life and even to themselves. We've gotten really good at taking care of other people, I think, in this world, our kids and our coworkers, and we're making sure we post the thing on social media and we check in with our parents and our loved ones and our friends. But sometimes I think we really forget to check on ourselves and ask ourselves what kind of energy we have for the day. So my reminder to you as we start this episode is to always give yourself some grace and look at the things you've done and accomplished. And if you have a day where you say, you know what, I'm done for the day. It's 4:45 p.m. and I'm going to make myself some chicken nuggets and French fries because I don't feel like cooking the 3-course meal. That's perfectly okay to do. What's not okay is putting this expectation and all this pressure on yourself to never do that and to always be, quote unquote, good or better or giving 100% in all you've got, because that leads to, burnout. You knew this episode was going to have something to do with burnout, since that, this is the Todd Talk podcast that helps you find joy in the everyday. And you guys know I speak about burnout. So it's perfectly acceptable to only have a little bit to give. And it's really important to check in with yourself and know how much you have to give. Give yourself a little self-assessment and figure out where you are on the spectrum of energy. And there's lots of little things that kind of stack up. I said making chicken nuggets and French fries for dinner like a college kid because that's all you had energy for. That's fine. If you only can manage to fold half the laundry, if you want to sit down and not stand up and do every single dish in the sink, if you want to empty half the dishwasher, then take a break. Those are all okay. Because the really important truth is that sometimes 100% isn't available. We can say, look, it's going to take 100% to get through everything in the house. I've got this giant to-do list. The chores are stacked up. The kids need things. But sometimes 100% isn't available. So you give what you have, and you give yourself grace on the backside, and you're polite to yourself when you realize that resting isn't being lazy. Rest is a necessity. Rest is something required for people to function, for humans to keep going and to do things day to day. Because if you don't take a break and rest, your body will pick the time that it's going to rest for you, and it's never going to be convenient. You will get sick or worn out or fall asleep when it's really not convenient or really not helpful, sometimes dangerous. Anybody who's ever dozed off while they're driving because they thought, oh, I can just push through and keep right on going, you know full well that sometimes it's really dangerous to keep on doing that. And the important thing to remember is that your energy will change, right? You don't have to give 100% every day. Your 40% from last week, that might be your 100% today. And that's something that we're going to have to come to terms with, but that's perfectly okay. And remember, too, that some days you do have energy to do it all. Some days you show up and you push through and power through all the things. Give yourself credit for those. There's this wonderful story that I've always loved about Albert Einstein, and he wrote, these math problems on the board. He wrote 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, all the way down till he got to 9 times 10. And when he got to 9 times 10, he wrote 9 times 10 is 91. And the story goes that the whole class laughed at him. And when he asked somebody, well, why are you laughing? They said, because you got that one wrong. That's like the easiest one, like 9 times 10. Everybody knows the answer, like you got it wrong, but it's so simple. And he said, you're right, I did get that one wrong. He said, but everybody in this room ignored the 9 that I got correct. Everybody ignored all the stuff that went right, all the things I did correctly, and just took that for granted. And we as people do this a lot with ourselves. I think sometimes we take all the things we've done for granted because that's what we quote unquote have to do. Nobody else is going to do it kind of mentality, which is true. And sometimes we have to step up, but give yourself credit for those things when you show up and have these days where you're like, you know what, I don't have as much today as I had 3 days ago. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's not sustainable to be able to have 100% the same energy and capacity every single day, day after day, because no 2 days are alike. No 2 days for any of us are exactly the same. Some days we wake up, we get a lot of sleep. Some days we get a little bit of sleep. Some days we kind of get enough sleep. Some days we kind of don't get enough sleep. Some days the kids need lots of things. Some days the kids don't need much at all. Sometimes we have 3 games to get kids to in the same day. Sometimes we have 3 games to get to in the same weekend. And sometimes we go the entire weekend without a game or a practice. And we stare at the calendar, at the blank page and go, oh my God, what are we missing? Why is this blank? Why is there nothing written down? This can't be true. Free time is a myth. But when that happens, you have to remember that every day doesn't show up the same for you. And so you will never be able to show up the same for every day. Lots of things are going to change. Lots of things are going to drain your energy and use your energy on different days. And some days you're not going to have those energy sucks where everything, kind of gets pulled out of you right away. And those are the days where you say, hey, I've got a lot of energy today. I feel good. I'm going to get all the things accomplished because I have energy. Or those are the days where you say, I've been going for 7 days straight. Day number 8, I'm going to rest now. Both are okay. And, this podcast episode might end up being a little shorter than the usual ones because I'm like, I'm recording it now in a little bit of free time that I have before the next thing shows up on the to-do list and a very, very busy weekend. And that's okay. Because it still matters. My shorter episode is still an episode. It's still a way to connect with you all and share my thoughts with you all. Folding half the laundry, guess what? That is still progress. If 0% of it was folded and you folded 50% of it, you are far better off than you were before you started. Every little bit counts. The chicken nuggets and french fries that you made for dinner might not have been a 3-course meal, but it sustained you and filled your stomach and let you have some energy to keep right on going with your day. All those little things still count in the effort that we put forth during the day. And I've used this analogy a lot too, right? Intensity or consistency will always forever beat intensity. You can go for 25 minutes and say, okay, I gave it all I had. I did like 12 chores in 30 minutes, but now I'm going to crash because I used up all my energy. Or you can go all day long and you say, awesome, that's fantastic. I got the whole house clean. And now I used up all my energy and I can't do the dishes, or I fell asleep and forgot to take my kid to practice, or I fell asleep and I forgot to jump on that phone call or that meeting I had, or I missed a dinner date or a dinner plans with a friend of mine. So it's not really a win. Intensity and going hard for a short amount of time is useful in the moment, but having consistency to always keep doing things is far better for you in the long run. And I think when it comes to this, there is a hidden danger in the quote unquote always more mentality. If we always think there's always more we have to do, there's always more we need to accomplish, we always have to give more, that will lead you down a road of being severely depleted and really burned out and wishing that somewhere along the line you had just stopped to take a minute to say, hey, this is really difficult today and I cannot show up the way I did yesterday. And then giving yourself the grace to understand that that is not a failure. You don't fail as a person because you didn't do all umpteen things that you set out to do first thing in the morning. Everybody has days that go sideways. 7 o'clock in the morning, things are going great. 7:07 in the morning, things are going terrible. Hell comes to breakfast and everything goes sideways and right out the window. And, we take plan A, B, C, D, E, and then we say, well, now we need a plan F, and even that one didn't work, so now we're just going to try to have to figure out what to do on the go, and we'll sort of play it by ear. And you can get through the day that way. It's acceptable. And not only is it acceptable, sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you have to figure out what to do as you go, and sometimes you're not quite sure how you're going to find the energy. But the way you find the energy in the long run is to make sure that as you are facing these difficult days, you remember to take the time to rest. You remember to take the time to say, no, thank you, I would not like to go to that event. Take the time to say, no, thank you, I don't want to go out tonight. All those things matter, and they will stack up. And when you give yourself opportunities to rest in between, you can do yourself a lot of good when you do have those really demanding days. So if today ends up being a quote-unquote little day, just let it be a little day. If most of your day was consumed by sitting and resting, that's not a loss, and it doesn't make you lazy, because most of your day tomorrow might be consumed by doing things for all the people in your life and doing things for your family and running yourself ragged, and you needed today to prepare for that. And likewise, just the same, you might go today, and then tomorrow you need a chance to rest. And all of this is balance, you guys. Everything we're talking about, or everything we talk about when it comes to giving and taking energy, everything is a balance, and everything is a give and take kind of dance that you do with yourself and what you have to do during the course of the day. And please, please hear me when I say that everyone is different when it comes to energy. Please don't compare yourself to other people and say, well, my neighbor does all these things and she never gets tired, or my boss or my best friend or my cousin does all these things and they can just seemingly go forever. I've said before that comparison is the thief of joy, and every person shows up differently. Everybody has different energy and different capacity to do different things during the day and with different levels of difficulty, and everything is okay because you are you and they are them. I worked with a guy at the fire school today, and I had to tell him, he's another instructor up there, but it was his department that was up there, and he's also a career firefighter, and he was just doing all the things. He was doing my job for me. Before I even got upstairs into the second floor of the burn room, he was trying to help us clean up, and I told him, I was like, bro, relax, take a break. You don't need to do everything for us. And he's like, no, I can't stand around idle. And I'm like, that's admirable. However, you still have, he told me that his girlfriend was at the burn. I'm like, after this, you got plans? You going out, going to grab dinner with your girlfriend? And he's like, yeah, probably. I'm like, okay, well, you don't want to fall asleep in the mashed potatoes at the dinner table. You need to leave something left to bring to dinner. Do not throw it all out here, especially when there are other people here to help you. We are getting paid to be here. This is, our job is to be here and support your department while you're working on your live burn training. And that's what we're here for. And full stop. I really, really, really appreciate all the help because dude, he's a rock star. He has this endless supply of energy, but he and I had a conversation about we as firefighters specifically, or first responders or folks in the medical world, are really good at taking care of other people. We are terrible sometimes at taking care of ourselves, and it will pile up and grow exponentially if you let it, because the to-do list is never going to go away. The chores are never going to go away. Your day job is never going to stop asking you to show up as long as you're still employed there. all of the things you have to do on your plate, in addition to helping other people, will stack up and soon topple over and consume you and crush you if you let them. So I told them flat out, I'm like, I appreciate what you're doing, but like, take a break, like take a breath, go get a granola bar and a bottle of water, take 5, have a Coke and a smile, like do something, because like this is not necessary. Now, the cool thing about that lesson in that instance today that just happened is it's a really good example of intensity and sustainability. So he was intense all day today. He went all day. He worked the morning burn for 4 hours, and then his department showed up afterwards. He jumped in with his department, and then he was helping us and the other instructors that I was working with up there, and then he was helping us clean up. So he literally went hard all day. 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. he was just on. Now, can he do that again tomorrow? Maybe, but probably not. And he and I had a very real conversation about that. Like, listen, man, don't forget to take care of yourself somewhere in the middle. Because if you do this today and tomorrow and the next day, and all of a sudden you have to go back to work on Tuesday and your full-time job as a career firefighter is to help people all day, you're going to have nothing left for yourself. You're going to say, I didn't have time to do laundry. I didn't have time to pack my lunch. I didn't have time to catch up with my parents or call my friends or go for a walk or take my girlfriend to dinner or take a rest or take a break or read a book or anything that was on your to-do list. So that consistency in the long run is really, really important. Now, that aside, if you're listening to this podcast episode by some random chance, you know who you are. You're a bad Larry, man. You're awesome. You got so much energy and so much capacity, and just go that you're a fantastic firefighter. You're a fantastic instructor. I admire you, and I'm so thankful for your help. However, go home, take a break. Go home, sit on your couch, watch TV, pour yourself a drink, whatever it is you do to unwind, just go do that because you deserve it. And as we close, you guys, as we wind this down, I want to remind you that whatever you bring to your day on any given day, in any given circumstance, make sure you're giving yourself credit for what you've actually accomplished. I think a lot of us, and I've said this in other episodes, so many of us forget all the things that go right in the course of the day. We only focus on the things that go wrong because those are the things that are out of the norm. But lots of stuff goes right on any given day. We wake up, we get dressed, we have coffee, the kids brush their teeth, have breakfast, they go to school, we go to work, work goes okay, we do our job, we don't get fired, we drive safely, we pick up the dry cleaning, we bring the kids to sports, we make dinner, we make dessert, we empty the dishwasher, whatever happens to be on your to-do list. We kind of forget to give ourselves credit for all those because it's quote-unquote just what we have to do. It's quote-unquote just, it's just my day. It's just what it looks like. And that may be true. And I'm not taking away from that, lots of people have busy lives. But it matters when all the things that go right. So don't forget that when you focus on the negative, be like, oh my God, X, Y, and Z went wrong. All right, yes, X, Y, and Z did go wrong, but A through M went pretty dang well, all things considered. So make sure you give yourself credit for that when you show up for yourself to kind of do that check-in with what you're bringing to the table for energy today and how much energy you have to do things. As we wind down, my friends, and as we close, please, please, please have a fantastic rest of your day. I cannot thank you enough for listening, for lending me your ears and lending me your time. I appreciate the messages and the comments. Please share this with someone if you know someone in your life who needs to slow down and kind of take a breath because they always feel guilty when they slow down. Please go ahead and share this with them. And remember, it's okay to give a little if a little's all you have. Thank you so much. Be well.
Thanks for tuning in to Todd Talk. If you've liked what you've heard, please go ahead and subscribe and follow along so you don't miss any updates or new episodes. Thanks very much and enjoy the rest of your day.